So, after a long night, and then my previous video where I freaked the fuck out, I stop at a rest stop to try and poop. I basically am manifesting a difficult time for myself at this point because they happen to be cleaning. Well, I'm not gonna shit while they're cleaning, duh. But, excuse me, sorry. Luckily, Haley called me, and I haven't slept in over 24 hours without any fucking drugs, which is the first time in my whole life I think I've done that since I was like a kid. But also, so like, I say that to say, like, I'm very emotional, and this is a huge thing that I'm doing, and I feel like I've cried a lot about it, but the way that I also left was not ideal, and I just maybe needed to have a moment where I just felt it, and I had a long cry, and woe is me, and Haley was trying to tell me that, like, it's okay for me to be grieving. Like, come as you are. Everyone's gonna love you regardless. And then I listened to a tarot reading that's talking about, like, when a baby is crying, and then it's like, it just keeps crying because it's fussing. And it's like, at a certain point you grow up and you realize when you as an adult are fussing, and you can kind of adult your inner child and talk yourself through it. The thing is not that I don't want to feel my emotions, but I've recognized that my emotions do create my reality. So it's like, I want to feel them, but I also want to understand that I think I have a lot of brainwashing with a lot of different relationship ideals, or ideals on what a man is or what a woman is, just like toxic kind of family upbringing, you know? And I thought, if I was going to give a child advice who's going through this, or a friend, I would say, like, it doesn't take your love away. It doesn't take me leaving my ex and my family, and even to some extent my niece, in order to have sovereignty within my own emotions, have autonomy, learn myself outside of everyone else's, like, framed structure of me, you know? Like, I didn't, it doesn't have to be, those emotions can be felt deeply, but the situation itself doesn't have to be that deep. Like, it's not a forever thing. I feel like when I cry, it's like, in my mind, it is forever, because I really don't have any faith that anyone's gonna catch on. Like, I just don't see that they will do the work. And because they are my family and what my partner of 6 years, like, I want to see them turn into the people who I can actually have in my life, which is is really a selfish thing anyway. It's like, if I really cared so much about them, then the grief wouldn't be that deep. It's a care for me that I'm losing them, and I'm grieving who I thought they were. Though who I thought they all were is dead. And there's a harsh reality that I've been codependent, enabling, like, all the same things I say about my mom doing with my brother's drinking and stuff, I do with them. Like, I make excuses for them to treat me poorly. I am forgiving time and time again with expectations that at some point they'll love me the way I deserve to be loved. But truly, if I was a healer, then I would only expect that from the people who show it to me already. Like, it's the people that I left behind have never had the capacity to care about me the way that I need to be cared for. And that's okay. Like, I can still love them and care for them. And if they don't get well, it doesn't take away from the love I have for them. Just because I am away from them for now doesn't mean that I can't reach out through my own volition, like prayer. I don't even know if I use that terminology correctly, or if I use any terminology correctly. I just pretend to sound smart, but I am smart, but still, I definitely fluff my shit up. Regardless, I can pray for people that are toxic in my life, that I love. I love them deeply, but they're not good for me. And I see this potential in them. My own mom, my family. But that's not who they want to be. And it's like almost like a parent with a child, like a father-son dynamic, where the father wants his son to be this famous football player, or the classic stories where the parents project onto their kids what they want their kids to be. I want my mom to be this certain type of person for me and for her. But I really have to recognize that the part that's weighing on me is the for me part. I want her to be the mom that I want her to be. And that's not who she is. And so really, like, it's about changing my perspective so that I don't wallow in that grief. And once again, I say this a lot, like, there's no good in just talking about how toxic a person is or how much they hurt you, other than just purging it for that time. It's like, but for it to be a storyline, then that's the storyline of your life. Then it's not just that person. You're telling the ether that these are the relationships and qualities that you have. That's your story. This is my story. I love people who don't deserve the love that I give because they treat me poorly. And I'm a victim. And it's like, there is truth to the moment, but now I'm fucking 4 hours away from Ohio. And I have people who are ready to love me as I am. And it's like, I'm embarrassed, because I'm all stinky and like, I've been crying crazy, and I have a hair chin that I haven't been able to pluck, and I have all this acne, and my eyebrows are gone because I plucked them, overplucked the shit out of them when I was at my mom's house, and was plugging my eyelashes too and shit. Regardless, I'm self-harming, and like, in a weird way, it is me toning myself down for the environment. Like, back on that thing with anxiety, it's like, this environment has proven to me so many times. And for me to be grieving like it's brand new shows that I really have to release that narrative. That is also an addiction. It's not just drugs and alcohol. Like, I still smoke weed. I smoke weed all the fucking time. And I'm a proponent for the usage of whatever gets you where you need to go, because I've for sure had medical experiences with all kinds of drugs, not even just psychedelic drugs, but I've used drugs in the past as like a way to function in society, and it has helped me to do that, because same way as anyone has antidepressants medication, you're numbing yourself. And then so now I've matured past that and understood that if I don't put myself in certain environments, I don't need to just get through the day. I have all the energy in the world. Like, I'm not drained, I'm not all these things. So now then you move on to other addictions, and that one of those addictions for me is like this story of the martyr and the scapegoat, and like I am those things, and it was beautiful to come in to that awareness that the things I've been thinking were right, because I was so heavily prosecuted my entire life for things I thought, even just not not even involving emotional issues, just like ideas. And so you feel a little sanctified when you see how God plays a role in things and how things unravel. You know, I feel like vindicated in all of the trials and errors and blood, sweat, and tears I've put into this. But on the other side of it, it's like, was all that effort worth it? I knew my family was bad for me my entire life. Like, when I went to college, that's when my brother put a gun in my face and they swept it under the rug when he was drunk. And, you know, that's what made it so believable that he put a gun in his baby mama's face, which is the restraining order. And it's like everything like that, when I would try and speak up on it, I always knew this is not the way. When it would get shut down or gaslit or whatever, I always thought like that, yeah, this is fucked up. Like, even if I wasn't me, I would observe this. Like, this is not a healthy family dynamic. So it's like, I really do recognize how much power I give away, an obsession of my own loops and patterning. And I think a part of that will just change simply from meeting new people and having a new environment to where I can recreate myself. But I did have a moment where I like went back to my old me and was just like, I don't know. It's like difficult when you're trying to change. It's difficult to navigate. In this moment, am I being a default version of myself that is setting me backwards? Like, I'm taking steps backwards in my ascension process? Or is it residual trauma that does need to be felt? And because my entire life has been like shut down emotionally, it's hard for me to navigate those things, and I do need other people around, and that's okay. Like, I'm so scared. I was saying that on the phone with Haley. Like, I almost didn't want to go. I almost wanted to get a hotel because it feels so vulnerable to be like so unkept and like disgusted and ashamed of myself and in front of people. And I think the important part of it is like they clearly don't feel that way about me. And when it comes to my brother's addiction, like, I would never think that of him. I totally get it. Like, when there were times when I've seen things or done things to help him or clean him up off the bathroom floor when I was a teenager. You know, when my dad had cancer, I was like my brother's mom, and I would like take care of his drunk ass and hide it from my parents so that they weren't all stressed out and he didn't get in trouble. And it's like, I never in those times thought anything about how disgusting he is. That's the last thing I thought until most recently in the court battle. I truly have always felt like it is pathetic, but it's like, I feel sorry for him. I don't feel the need to kick him while he's down and add on to his shame. Like, wow, you really should, you know, oh my God, he smelled so bad and this and that. It's like, no, dude, that's my mom and dad, that they're very judgmental and they talk shit on people really bad. And it's made me a very insecure person because obviously, like, it's natural. It's so natural that if you're raised a certain way and you're used to thinking a certain way, it takes time to remind yourself when you're falling back into those old thought processes. It takes time to rewire your brain. And I think I just went through so much this last couple months so fast. And I'm proud of myself because I was like Queen of Swords on that shit. I was cutting down all the baggage, all the cycles, all the old bullshit. Like, I wasn't fucking around. But now, all that work has been done and my emotions have not had the chance to catch up, and that's okay. Like, I don't need to have a reason. Nothing needs to be forever. Like, my mom I'm afraid that she'll die like this because that's how my dad died. Like, the last thing I ever said to my dad was, like, I was chastising him for how he was speaking about my mom and my brother, because he's like, oh, your brother's a fucking drunk piece of shit, and, like, I do feel that way too, but I have found that, like, as I went into the world, people don't talk that way, so they think you mean it literally, and you do, but you don't know that you do. Like, I don't know that I really do think I'm a piece of shit when I say it. Like, it's just what I've been told forever, so it's like, I'm so used to it that it's like, man, it doesn't really mean anything. It's not serious, like, it doesn't affect me, but it's like, it does. You can't be saying piece of shit when you're talking about people. Like, that's, like, that kind of stuff is, like, it takes time to get it out of myself. And to tell myself, like, it's okay. It's okay. Everything's okay. This is emotional, dude. This is rough. Like, and it's okay. And it's something where it's like, just like my dad's passing, it takes a long time to process. It takes a really fucking long time for your brain to even give your body permission to receive the trauma, because you can't handle. It's almost like how they say disclosure, which that's a whole nother motherfucking topic, but they say, like, you would have to, sorry, I was looking at my truck. The reason why they tell us, like, little bits at a time is because the human brain, hypothetically, cannot handle all that information and would become overwhelmed and maybe just combust, right? Well, it truly is kind of the same with emotion. Like, if that is the truth on disclosure, or even just disclosure on our history is probably really what it is, but regardless, your body is not gonna give it to you all at one time. You are not gonna be able to understand all the complexities and the layers of it until you're ready to understand it. And your body will let you know when you're ready to receive it. And I think it was just, there's a lot that I'm receiving now that are wrapped up in my entire identity and community. And that's why I'm so obsessed about, like, why do we have to be so fucking divided? It's because this is my wound. This is my child wound. This is my family wound of my sister, or what would be like a sister to me, killing herself, constant nefarious dealings within my family, constant overdoses, molestations, abandonment, infidelities, addiction, abuse, domestic abuse, child, like, it just goes on and on and on. And so, like, my body obviously is, like, allowing me to process this slowly. And what I went through recently with the court, I haven't had any understanding of court dealings other than, like, when Katie first killed herself. Like, I think I got questioned there, but maybe not even. I can't remember, but I feel like I breathed in a hair. Regardless, dude. I just know that this is not an all-in-one go kind of thing. And I think that when I process this, I won't have this deep emotion. But this is just who I am. It doesn't matter what it is. I just feel deep emotion. So it's like, I have to accept that this emotion would have been felt deeply about any circumstance. Like, I have to be okay with the fact that when I feel it's so deep, and like it's okay to be vulnerable about that, and stop putting on a front like I'm a hard ass all the time. It's like I am truly, like, I really do have this conviction about certain opinions, and I want that to be taken seriously, so that's why I speak on it with such passion. But it stems, once again, from that family wound. There's a child in me that thinks that it can, if I fix myself, then my family can be fixed. And when you grow up to be an adult, but you're still the child of all these people who are, my dad was born so much longer ahead, almost damn near fucking closer to 100 years before me than he was 50. Oh wait, that's not true. But either way, it's still, the only reason I thought that is because it's 2025. I wasn't thinking about 96 when I was born. Regardless, I'm goofing. I'm just fucking rambling now, but I remember when I left the restaurant at the Loose Wheel. I don't know if it made an impact on this person, but it really made an impact on me, because I've never said anything like that to a stranger, really, or what seemingly is a stranger. But the last words I said to this cook when I was on the clock, that like I really tried to open up with a lot, was like, I'm just a sad, lost little girl. Or I might have said scared too, and that is very true. And it's like, why can't I just be honest about that? That is just a part of my identity, because when I was raised, that was my role. So I have a bit of, I think being an Aquarius too, like, you're just naturally a humanitarian. There's probably other things in my chart that show that it's not just nurture, but it's also nature. Like, I was destined to some extent to have this desire to rebuild better, like, not like some bullshit campaign, but like genuinely just from the ground up, meaning from myself, from the root chakra, from the heels of my feet up to my crown and back down, creating this, like, you know, natural toroidal field of energy that is healing, basically. That I would have the power through my own work, through my own self-work, to make the world a better place. That is just a part of my identity. And maybe it isn't just a child wound. Maybe I'm putting that on it and not giving myself enough credit. Maybe I'm just a fucking good person, because no one else in my family has this mentality of like, oh, I need to fix the family. Maybe I'm just like that. But whatever, like, I can't fake the funk anymore. Like, I keep trying to, like, I keep feeling myself sound stupid or back in the day when I worked at the restaurant. It's like I always want to talk about these deep topics, and people's eyes glaze over, as one of my really close coworkers would tell me, like, everyone thinks you're fucking crazy, or they just pretend to be listening to you. They don't get it. And she gets it, and some people do, but most people don't. And instead of like trying to mold myself to be what they can get so that I don't feel bad, it's like I have to be okay being vulnerable. It's very difficult, because like I recognize, like, actually just my femininity in general is completely like distorted, and my view of the masculine is completely distorted, so much so that I definitely understand how I have sabotaged every relationship, which we all do. But like, my view of what a man should be is my wound. So it's like I always find it, you know? Because I don't know what a man should be. I don't know what a human should be. I do think that there should be an important distinction between man and woman, because I think that they have very significant roles in life, just in general. And it's not like it's not to be that like a dogmatic about it. It's more like it's sacred. Like the feminine and the masculine are sacred principles, and they are in every historic text. It's this, the union is sacred. Childbirth is sacred. So like that, there are aspects of it that I align with completely. But I think that I take it to default, you know, like I apply mythology and like these other principles, these ancient texts that I'm reading, I apply it to the concept of my reality though. And if my reality is a distorted, toxic masculine, then I'm applying what a divine masculine concept is to my experience of a masculine, which has all been either toxic or like I try to make them more of a toxic man. Like I want you to have a gun. I want you to be, and those things are true, but it's like I don't even give my partner the chance to defend me before I say you're too pussy to defend me. Granted, I date really pussy guys, but still, it's like I don't even give people the chance to fail before I've already decided what they're gonna be. So if that is true, and I know that my mind is that powerful, and people, you know, don't like that about me, then I should, instead of just change that completely, just project, you know, find out what I do like and project that. And it's truly, this whole thing is just, once again, the concept of being troubled. Yeah, it's troubling to reorganize your brain and reprogram your thinking so that you can rebuild a better life for yourself, like, and be a better person in the world. Like, that is, it takes a lot of self-accountability, forgiveness of others, you know, shame, sadness, grief, forever. And like, I just had this moment today where I learned a lot because I was grieving. And I'm so used to grieving around people where I'm not allowed to grieve. So I'm so quick to be like, I'll just hang up, I'll just get off the phone, I'll let you go. Like, no one can be bothered with me. And it's like, I feel like my friend Haley was trying to say, like, this is not good for you to isolate when you need someone. And I want to be there for you. And it's like, damn, I've always done that. And that's always been some shit she told me too, because we've been friends for a long fucking time. And back in the day, when my mom first got caught cheating on my dad by my third eye, and she didn't want to admit to it for a whole year, so we were in no contact, it was the same thing. She was like, she would come in my room and like I would isolate and be in these depressive stages. And when I'm really depressed, I start using alone, which is like so what my brother does too. And she would want to hang out, and then eventually I started to get angry. And I've done this with other friends. I have another friend, Bonnie, back in the day I did. Like, if someone loves me too much, I'm like, get the fuck away from me, you codependent. Like, I don't have this, I don't know. I don't have this understanding that, like, that's a good thing. Like, I want good, but I don't know what good looks like. And then when it comes, I'm, like, angry at it and scared of it because it's inviting emotions. I'm spitting so much. It's inviting emotions. I don't know. It's hard for me to feel, I guess. And the thing that I so deeply wish, because I truly feel out of all the people that I had this bad experience with, regardless of what anyone has to say, I really felt my ex, like, we were aligned spiritually. Our souls were aligned to do work together. And I kind of could understand him in that moment. Like, he knows what I'm saying is true and good for him, but it's like the emotion is hard to deal with, and he just doesn't know like how to say it so that it doesn't hurt me. He'll like blame me for it, which once again, I'm going into making those excuses, but I basically had a moment where I could understand. I don't think it's okay, and it's not worth like having a relationship where I don't matter, you know, but it's like I can see why, like, sometimes you just don't know how. I get it. Like, I just know what it's like to not know how to. And in that moment, I don't know why, but I felt very aligned with him on that, because it was like someone telling me it's okay to be fucked up, and me being like, I can't. And it's like, why? We know you are. Like, just deal with it. It's okay. We love you. Everyone's a little fucked up. You know, it's like a normal thing. It's all the same shit I would say to him too. So, it's interesting how karma plays out so quick for me. It's like, it's insane. It is insane. But last night was more of like a scary movie, or like I've never had, I don't know. The only thing I could compare that to that was like very surreal to where it seemed like a dream were when I've done like weird shit on psychedelics, like adventures, or like being up for days on blow, and like you all of a sudden you find yourself like, one day I found myself like, and I had to go to work at the loose wheel that day too, but I found myself like too twacked out to go home, and I just was like standing outside the corner of a store at my house smoking cigarettes with some guy called like Tennessee or Kansas or some shit, and talking to him about smoking meth and being homeless. And I was just like, in that moment, I felt so much like I was very close to homelessness at that, like, not homelessness per se, but I felt when I was using a lot of drugs, like, and no one cared. I knew because living in Tacoma, Washington, like, I live off Pacific Avenue, and it's notorious for drugs and prostitutes and shit. And so anytime I would drive to home, doesn't matter what time of day it is, you're seeing people who are like, they were just one support system away from being you. You know? Like, and I could see it. Like, I could see myself so quickly being out there. Like, it just... And I think that's what made those kind of nights very surreal for me. Was like, is this a movie? Like, how am I this drugged out right now that I'm like... I just don't even want to get into it, but... It was a very sad and dark time in my life. And... that's actually a really good thing to remember, is like, dude, I would so notice right away if someone I loved was going through that shit. I would put a stop to it immediately. Like, my mom was living with me, my dad had just died, and like, I was doing that shit, and she never checked in, you know? Like, if she did, it was like, why don't you get your shit together, you know? Like, that kind of, like, I don't know. So, then, now we come full circle. That it's like, those emotions that I felt are real, but I have to focus on what I do have, and what I do have is a community that's willing to accept me as I am, and that has shown me that every moment, from the minute that I met Haley, every argument we've had, anything ever, every fight we've had fights where we fucking quit talking, where it's like a moral thing, where I'm like, I don't fuck with you because she made a personal decision that goes against my morals, and so I would be like, nope, I don't fuck with that kind of shit. But when we would come back together, it was like we had this ability to both learn. And so it's like, I know that all I've ever received from this person is love and growth and acceptance. That is proven fact. And I know that all I've ever received in my life is all that I've been grieving. So it's like, give myself a chance and give her and the people around me a chance to basically, if my heart is a Badlands and like plants don't grow here conceptually, but weeds do, right? And so I'm like, what's the difference between a weed and a plant? You know, like a dandelion, a milk thistle, even blackberries are super invasive in Washington. Those would be considered weeds to a lot of people, but they're very nourishing. And you could have a plant that, I mean, what is what here? It's like, what is the meat and potatoes of what you're looking for? If I'm looking for these certain qualities, does it really matter where I get it? Or should I just be grateful I have it and I've been able to manifest it? God gave me what God could give me. Okay? Other people do have free will. And so, sorry, I'm looking at my truck. As people decide or not decide to make changes in their lives, they have the ability to be good to me or not. And I can accept that and manifest a community, which I did. And now I have to remember that when I cry, that the community that I manifested isn't my boyfriend and my mom and my brother and, you know, my niece and everyone's happy ever after. It's like, okay, well, then what can we really do to make Aaron happy? Because what can we really do to make this person happy? Because everything that she manifests, she critiques and ruins. You know, so it's like, it's time for me to be like, okay, remember what you're manifesting here. And remember what the truth is, and just remember, you know?